Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. I'm not sure why I introduced it so formally. We're just upmarket now, aren't we? We've got half our fan base are Wolves and Evertonians. So if that's not upmarket, what is? Guys, we're going to look at Rafa Benitez, who, after some serious soul searching, have finally found something within themselves to give somebody the bloody Everton job. It was Rafa, then it was Nuno, then we did 2 or 3 shows based on a whole host of managers from Eddie Howe to God knows who. The man is Rafa. There's been countless banners outside the grounds. Obviously, Goodison Park. Not many fans. I've seen reporters going onto the streets of Merseyside interviewing fans. Most are against it. There are a few that see him for what he is, and that's a top level manager. Scott, how do you feel about it? Because I have a little bit of a soft spot for Rafa. I really do.
It's one of them, isn't he? At the end of the day, Everton legend, not Everton legend, Christ, great start there. Liverpool legend, should I say?
All the Everton fans.
All the Everton fans are straight off, aren't they now? No, Liverpool legend, of course, bringing them the European success that he did. Held in great regard there. Once called Everton a small club once when he was there, and then he did quickly backtrack. I think it was a couple of years later on from that, basically, where he's saying he meant the team at the time, not the actual club itself. But I think that still resonates with Everton fans, and I don't think I can see why Everton fans aren't happy. I think you're much more of a fan of him in general for me. So I'm going to let you share your thoughts on perhaps why you think, for putting the rivalry aside, why you perhaps maybe think, I'm guessing from your introduction, you're thinking that it's perhaps a good appointment.
I think it could have been a lot worse. We've seen some of the managerial appointments Everton have made. I'm a big fan of Sam Allardyce. He wasn't the man that was going to take them forward. Marco Silva failed at 2 low Premier League teams and obviously teams in the Championship. You can do a lot worse than Rafa. If Spurs got Rafa, I'd be pretty, I'd probably thinking on behalf of Spurs, oh, you might be one to watch now. And no disrespect to Everton, in recent years, Tottenham have been a better performing side than Everton. So I think this is only a good thing for Everton. Listen, is Rafa going to make you finish outside the top 10? No, but you haven't really been pulling up trees in recent years. So your biggest fears are still, in my opinion, a top 8 finish now. I don't see how Everton finish below 8th. And I think he's one of the only managers out there that would take this job, even if they only offered him 50 million a year in terms of a transfer budget. Look what this guy did with Newcastle. I know Steve Bruce has now kind of, I think he's actually eclipsed him in terms of a Premier League finish, but he has had better players in St. Maxim and other players. Rafa didn't really have that. Rafa had a lot of injuries. He's done it at Liverpool, Valencia. He had a holiday in China for a while, but I'm really excited by Benitez if I was an Evertonian, and I'm just excited to see him back in the league.
See, I think I'll go the opposite way, which is interesting. This bloke hasn't had, let's face it, no disrespect to Newcastle, but a top job since Real Madrid, which is we got let go from there over 5 years ago now. He did his Newcastle, and you know what? Newcastle fans hold him in such high regard, and I don't know why, because he spent the whole time there acting like he was better, always demanding more, and as much as he's not exactly attracting football either. And he was at Newcastle, and the whole time he just acted like he was better than them. He was doing them a massive favour. He's always complaining about circumstances when things went wrong. It was always
he asking for more? Was he asking for more, or was he just asking for something? Didn't he one summer? Didn't he have a negative net spend, i.e., sold more than he actually brought?
But you almost know that's what you're getting into with Newcastle. But without going away from that, let's face it, he's not had the top job since Real Madrid. He then kind of went for the money in China, did a job there. Let's face it, he's not, it doesn't really matter what he did there at the end of the day, does it? I mean, that was just purely for the money. It feels like an outdated appointment to me. It feels like something which 10 years ago it would have been a world-class appointment, almost like the way Mourinho's almost regarded now. And I still wouldn't put Rafa anywhere near the Mourinho in terms of managerial excellence. But, like Mourinho now is kind of judged as perhaps an outdated manager. And I feel the same way about Rafa. 10 years ago, this would have been a great appointment. I don't think it is now. And that's regardless of what, regardless of the Liverpool affiliations and what the
do you not think?
Let's face it, he's not going to bring great football, is he? He's not going to bring great attacking football.
Maybe not. I can't really disagree with that. Even under his Liverpool tenure, when he was pushing United to the title, I think in that famous 08-09 season with Torres and Gerrard and Mascherano, Alonso, those kinds of players. Do you not think it could be a good signing? And we'll try and finish on this point where he might not be there for 5 years, he might not be there for 10 years, but could he give them 2 or 3 seasons, get them a Europa League, attract that upper echelon of player, and then maybe they can try and kick on with somebody else? I mean, they hold Ancelotti as a god over there, and they're almost disappointed now they've got Rafa. If I was an Everton fan, I wouldn't feel anything. Ancelotti failed. Ancelotti realised, I'm not actually good enough in this league. Oh, Real Madrid, I'm gone. He booked his flights before Perez even gave him the job, kind of thing. So I don't know. I think he's not going to win them the league, or maybe not get them Champions League. Can he get them that foothold into the Europa League so that they can kick on?
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting one, isn't it? If Everton fans had such high regard for Ancelotti, despite was it a 10th place finish. Obviously, at the end of the day, he went now, and I think their view has changed on him, because it was a case of where first chance he got to jump ship, he did. And, there's still clearly a big project to work on with Everton. They've got the exciting news of the new stadium. They've got a lot of funds. I mean, let's face it, the owner's not afraid to put funds in. And that is the one positive I would say about Rafa. As you say, he hasn't had a job. I said myself, he hasn't had a top job since that Real Madrid job. But this is going to be one where perhaps we know he's going to be given a lot more money than he did at Newcastle. And could his experience, although he's not going to be a long-term appointment, and he might not play the most attractive football, but could he bring Everton back into those all-important European places? And
that's what?
Perhaps he might do that. And if he does do that, I think opinion could change on him. I think he's going to have to hit the ground running at Everton now. He's not going to have that kind of, the 3 to 6 months that other managers might have been given. And I think the one advantage they do have, which compared to Nuno, just to finish off quickly, apparently Nuno, the problem was he wanted to bring all his staff. Rafa won't do that. Rafa apparently is only bringing select few staff, and a lot internal going to stay. And of course, the big one is that Duncan Ferguson, which is highly regarded amongst Everton fans, is also going to stay. So there are some positives. Am I perhaps buzzing at this appointment for Everton fans? To be honest, I'm really not, no. And I think with their emotion, obviously with the Liverpool rivalry, I imagine they're less, they're less happy. I mean, of course, let us know in the comments, Everton fans, are you happy? Have I got that completely wrong? And as you said, James, you're probably a bit more excited because you think
I like Rafa.
For them, you're excited for them, but he can perhaps get them in that Europa League place.
I think so, and I think he could do it next season. Just to finish off before we jump onto your outro, where would you, if you had to bet now? Obviously, we're still at Euros, pre any transfers that might happen for any club. Where would you put Everton now to finish next season? I'm going to go out there. I'm going to say 7th. So unless someone wins the FA Cup outside the top 6, I think they'll get Europa.
To be honest, I wouldn't go much further below. I fancy them to probably finish 8th, so just outside those European places as it stands, which, doesn't sound like a lot of difference, but of course it is key, isn't it? It's that one extra place which doesn't get them European football. I'd probably place them 8th. Yeah, but I think that's more to do with the players they've got than perhaps what Rafa will bring. It's going to be an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see if he is past his best. I guess we'll find out.
Absolutely. I'm excited. I really am.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're new here, guys, we are a general channel, bringing lots of general football content, as you'll see if you scroll down the videos. So if you enjoyed this, please do hit that like button, as it helps us out massively. And also subscribe to the channel. And imagine a lot of Everton fans will be watching this, so it's you'll probably see a bit more of us on a popular Everton channel, the Bleed Boys Network, which is looking to get us on a bit more in the coming season.
It's all about Mikey. See you guys.
And hopefully see you again.
Take care.